Hey y'all, I really didn't expect to have to make a video about this, but here's a video about this. For those who are having trouble applying their logic, for those who don't have logic, to spread awareness about child sexualization or to promote starting conversations about child sexualization, you really need not make a video or a movie or a picture or whatever it is that you're using to convey that message or to spread that awareness that cannot have child porn in it. If in my movie to start conversations about sexualization of children, I include child porn, zooming in on kids' partially closed genitals, then I'm not helping the problem. I'm telling myself I am, but what I'm really doing is just contributing content to child porn, and I'm also normalizing it. Now, this is where most people freak out, like, how is it normalizing it? Well, it's normalizing it because it's allowing it if it's to teach about it. Or if it's not even to teach, it's just a movie. So them saying it's to teach, that's like subjective. But let's say it's to start conversations about it. You don't need to put it there. We don't need to see child porn. We don't need to spread child porn. We don't need to compensate child porn with views. And we certainly don't need to fight each other over child porn, whether it needs to be in a movie that is supposed to help us talk about it. Now, if you're someone who thinks that, I would highly recommend you check why you were able to watch those scenes, why you were able to recommend the movie to other people after you knew that those scenes were there, and why, in your opinion, you think that you need this movie to have these conversations. I'm so sorry. Like, we've been having these conversations for decades. We have been having these conversations. In fact, right now, we're having more of these conversations than ever. So really, we didn't need that movie at all. In fact, it would have been good to just put it on the news and say, yo, we need to talk about child sexualization. Or you can make a movie, the exact same movie, but without the zooming in on child's asses and crotches. How about that? Do you think that that would have, like, delivered the message the same? Yes, it would have delivered the same message. You can literally, the part where they're having a dance competition, by the way, I didn't watch the movie. I only saw the marketing and I don't need to watch it. I know the story, everything, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. I make a conscious choice to not compensate these people with my views. It's very simple, which is the only way to make change. But yeah, I just don't understand. Like, I literally cut myself off. I don't know where I was in the conversation, but really, the point is very simple. If the scenes that contained child porn in Cuties were removed, the movie would remain intact. The movie would remain intact. You can videotape the competition of dance from a one-person point of view, like in the audience, without, again, zooming in on a child's ass or child's crotch, or making it so that the you know how they use the same style of filming when someone is doing like a seductive or tease type video. It's like, why are you filming it like that? There's absolutely no need for that. That is child porn, and that does normalize child porn in an effort to start conversations about child porn, like face bomb. And now I just want to talk about the different reactions that people have. Like, some people are calling are saying like they did such a good job with the marketing, triggering people and stuff. And it's like, you know, triggers, a lot of people don't understand what the word trigger means. A trigger is something that reminds you or makes you have a flashback of your trauma. So if you're someone who thinks that in order for the marketing of something to be good, that you need to be reminding people of the thing that makes them suicidal, then there's something wrong with you. Like, there's something genuinely wrong with you. And you're compensating the draconian state, which is literally just trying to increase our trauma and trauma bonding. So again, trigger is not a great marketing campaign because a trigger is something that makes someone unsafe. So let's not normalize that either, if you don't mind. Another thing is, oh, it was designed to make people uncomfortable. No, The movie in itself, without the child porn scenes, without the scenes where they zoom in on the kids' genitalia, is already uncomfortable. So we don't need those scenes to make it uncomfortable. Those scenes are not uncomfortable. Those scenes are abusive, exploitative, child porn, disgusting, cringeworthy, disturbing. That's what those scenes are. Those scenes are not just uncomfortable. More on the topic. A lot of people are like, oh, we need to watch it so we can talk about it because I want to know what all the tea is about. This is by all means not any tea, okay? Like, talking about a serious issue, like literally the attempted normalization of child porn in a movie that's made on purpose to hit on your emotions, to defend people of color, and to defend the method in which they shared this. It's not only people of color who shared this, obviously, but I mean, there's a lot of people who come at you and say, oh my god, it was written by a woman of color, blah, blah. It's like, we're not invalidating the woman of color. We're just saying, like, we would love to hear you out without zooming on kids' genitalia. Like, I just don't understand what's so hard to understand here. Like, when you know a movie has zooming in on kids' genitalia, just don't watch it. Like, it doesn't matter what the story is. It literally doesn't matter. You can know the story without watching it and without promoting it, therefore. Yeah, there's literally people like promoting it, saying like, you have to watch it because it's so real and yada yada. It's like, okay, I don't give a fuck. I literally don't care. Like, we can have these, I'm not gonna keep repeating the same thing, but like, there's more to say. There's more to say. Let me see if I can see here what I wrote. Oh yeah, and there's also people, I'm gonna read this directly from my post. There's people literally comparing child porn to drugs, speeding, and death, like murder. So here's my answer to that, because I think it's so important for people to understand that it's not the same at all. I love the people comparing child porn to drugs, death, and speeding. Like, we aren't forced to see murder, drugs, and speeding just to survive. Do we also have to now see child porn to survive too? I hope not. False equivalencies are cute, but the truth is cuter. We can just learn about child porn instead of participating in spreading it. I love the also there's people policing people's reactions to the child porn. It's like, I'm so sorry that I hurt you by reacting outrageously to this disgusting fucking. Child sexualization and child porn are different. Child sexualization happens in the mind of the receiver, and the child cannot be doing anything. Like, that's child sexualization. Child porn is when I provide content for those people who like to sexualize children. So zooming in on children's crotches. That is child porn. So there's a difference between showing child sexualization in this movie, which is so important to show because this is very real, and highlighting how children are sexualized no matter what they do. There's a big difference between that and between literally providing child porn scenes to portray this point. Child porn is very different than child sexualization. You really don't need to make child pornography in order to sexualize a child, eh? Like, you really don't need to go that far to sexualize a child. Sexualizing a child can literally just be a comment that you say to the child, the way you look at the child, what you teach the child, stuff like that. You know, if you give them an adult role, that's child sexualization. But you don't need child porn to highlight child sexualization. Child porn is outright providing that material that is intended to turn on the viewer. Why else would I zoom in on a child's genitals if not to let pedophiles enjoy that? I just don't. All we're saying is, like, the movie without those zooming in would have been fine would have been fine, still wouldn't be fine to me, but the story would have been the same. The story would not have been impacted. So stop coming at us with like, the story, the context, but you didn't watch it. Because even if I watch 17 hours of incredible stuff with no triggers, and then it leads me to this one scene, even if it was one scene, even though there's like a billion in this competition where they zoom in, even if it was one scene only, then it's still me contributing to child porn and me causing survivors to go through trauma. Like, it sucks that I have to like actually sit here and persuade people. It's like, really, you don't think that some people will admit that those scenes were unnecessary, but they won't admit that those scenes are everything else. Like, not only unnecessary. Saying just unnecessary is problematic because they're not only unnecessary, they are also abusive, exploitative, disgusting, child porn, and problematic. Like, I'm gonna write more in the bio of this video if there's more to say, because there's so much to say, to be honest. Like, anyways, thank you so much for watching, and please, if you agree, please have these conversations. This is the right way to start conversations. Definitely not by me showing you some child porn right now so you understand what child porn is. Like, no. And me telling you a story. Like, no. Yes, I was molested as a kid. That's why I'm like, and I was molested continuously. I went through cyclical child abuse all the way up to until I was an adult, not like. But anyways, again, thank you for watching. Please share, even if it's in your own way. Please stand up to this stuff. Take care. I hope you have a good one despite the shittiness around us.